বিশ্বময় ছড়িয়ে থাকা চ্যানেল আইয়ের প্রিয় দর্শক, আপনাদের আরেকবার স্বাগত জানাই চ্যানেল আই এক্সক্লুসিভের আরেকটি সবিশেষ পর্বে। একটু পরে আমি আপনাদের সঙ্গে ইংরেজি ভাষায় কথা বলবো। তার আগে আমি সংক্ষেপে আমার আজকের বিশেষ অতিথিদের সঙ্গে আপনাদের পরিচয় করে দিতে চাই এবং একটু ছোট্ট পটভূমি বলতে চাই যে আপনারা জানেন যে বিজয়ের মাস মহান 16ই ডিসেম্বরকে কেন্দ্র করে, বিজয় দিবসকে কেন্দ্র করে আমাদের দেশে অতি সম্প্রতি সফর করছেন, আমাদের দেশকে প্রতিনিধিত্ব করেন এমন বেশ কিছু ব্যক্তিত্ব। তাদের মধ্যে কেউ কনসাল, কেউ কনসাল জেনারেল, এরকম বেশ কিছু ব্যক্তিত্ব আমাদের দেশে এসেছিলেন বিজয়ের 40 বর্ষপূর্তির এই অনুষ্ঠানে যোগ দিতে। আমরা আজকে আমাদের স্টুডিওতে পেয়েছি তাদের অন্যতম তিনজনকে। এই তিনজন হচ্ছেন আমাদের বেলজিয়াম, নরওয়ে এবং ফিনল্যান্ডের কনসাল এবং কনসাল জেনারেল বৃন্দ। প্লিজ ওয়েলকাম মিস্টার প্যাট্রিক Swolf,
Yes.
and Peter Daae and Harry Blassar. You are representing Bangladesh in Belgium.
Yes, sir.
You are in Norway.
Yes.
And you are from Finland. Warm welcome to this show.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Let me start with Mr. Swolf. Can you please describe your feeling, your way you felt Bangladesh after visiting this time in 40th anniversary of our independence?
Well, I very much appreciate that we were invited by the Foreign Affairs to visit in this specific
Ministry of
occasion,
Foreign Affairs.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to be invited to assist to these festivities here. Not just because of that, but I think it is also very important, especially for me, because for me it's the first time in Bangladesh to appreciate the way it functions and the way you want to expand your activity worldwide. And for us it has been very fruitful to see how people are working here and how attent they are to us and to what happens worldwide.
I learned that Mr. Daae have been visiting for Bangladesh for quite some times, and this is his 20th visit probably. So I'm not going to ask the same question that how are you feeling for your visit. Rather, I would like to ask you a kind of business-oriented thing, because the world is now marching ahead with the diplomacy involved in business development. So how you are thinking that Bangladesh, where Bangladesh should have been there, or how Bangladesh should be marching ahead for that goal?
I would like to respond it with the marching ahead question, because I think there's a huge potential for Bangladesh actually. It's just a matter of getting the message out to the rest of the world and into maybe to Europe and the Nordic countries in particular. And as a result of this meeting, we have, of course, we have bonded the consuls. We met for the first time as a group. But then we have already started talking how we can, as a group, smaller groups, trying to combine and join efforts to take out and portray the potential of the business in Bangladesh. And there certainly are things that the rest of the world should do for their import, but also there is a great potential for export into Bangladesh, transfer knowledge.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. There are areas here where there are fairly large Nordic players here already within telecom, and now we also have in the energy sector, which is a very important
Yeah, we
thing.
have the biggest telco working here from Norway.
That's right, that's Telenor. And
Telenor, yes.
Telenor,
We call it Grameenphone then.
That's very true. But then I think there will be new sectors, like within the power sector, within the energy sector, LNG, the gas sector, and
liquid natural gas.
Exactly. And I think also there would be could be in the drilling, actually in the fossil sector also. But then it's also a matter of taking things out in the rural areas. So rural electrification, whether it's being wind or solar in particular. And there are new concepts being developed in Europe that can certainly be benefited here in Bangladesh.
But in a country, in a developing country like Bangladesh, the solar power, some people say, some expert express their opinion that it's not that cheap to start with. How do you look into it?
It is a matter of to the many people it will be portrayed as expensive, maybe too expensive, but to many it is a matter of replacing expensive diesel generator and it can compete with diesel. So if you go into and make hubs, offline systems where you can combine it with maybe you take the telecom industries and their towers. They are diesel powered, and they could be solar powered, and then they could also sort of feed the surplus electricity into rural areas.
Okay, we'll get back to you if we have that time. And Mr. Harry Blassar from Finland, you are not that much away from the Nordic business venture we are having here in Bangladesh, because the Nokia, the strongest possible brand, I think, from Finland, is a very popular telephone set introduced in Bangladesh many years back, and almost every alternate guy or person have got a Nokia set, including myself. So business are there in Bangladesh, between Bangladesh and your country, Finland. How we can go further, how we can beyond the line to let this industry grow and our economy grow as a whole.
Well, yes, I have noticed that Nokia is here very much in use, very popular, and this is for a country like Finland, it is actually something new. We used to be, like you used to be, very jute export oriented, jute
long back
economy. We used to be paper and pulp exporter. After the Second World War, it was still about 90% of our export. But Nokia has been one of those new areas which we have obtained. And then in this part of the world, we have done quite well. Then there is another company here which I think is very important for you, and that is Wärtsilä. They are
yes.
Yeah, they are producing electricity here. I understand maybe 1/5 of your electricity using your natural gas. But certainly there are new prospects also, and I know one, for instance, one Finnish paper mill which is interested to put up a board mill here in Bangladesh. They would use Finnish material because it has to be pine fiber and to be strong enough. But that would be for the market here in Asia, all the way to China. This is one project. Then, of course, I have been involved with Bangladesh very long. Already after your independence, the next year, 1972, I was contacted by the Finnish Foreign Ministry and then your first ambassador in Stockholm, Abdul Razzak.
Okay.
And then it started the cooperation.
It's a long cherished friendship.
Yes, I was appointed in 1974, so that it has been a long...
Congratulations for being out there for a long time.
And at that time, your export was mainly jute-based. Now you are a very big garment exporter to Finland.
Yeah.
And now I hope that something new can also be possible. Like, for instance, we were in Chittagong and we're acquainted with your shipbuilding there.
Yeah, that is a fastest growing sector we are now having for last few years. The Bangladeshi ship builders are exporting our ships to the world market, especially the European market, I suppose. So that is a very interesting area to talk about.
Yes, although we are a big shipbuilder also in Finland, we make these big passenger cruising ships for the Caribbean and Mediterranean. But we need also smaller ships for the traffic in the Baltic Sea and for our own coast. So, for instance, we need to transport oil from the big refineries to some smaller ports. And these are the kind of ships that we might be interested, also from Bangladesh.
How do you look, Mr. Swolf, this ship building and something beyond?
It's a fairly interesting matter because you are a big country squeezed between two even more bigger. I think you have a special role to play in these days. The fact that the shipbuilding is coming up to us in Antwerp, but we were all shipbuilders in the past in Europe. Actually, we do build ships in China and Indonesia and things like that. And I think Bangladesh has his role to play as well. The exchange of know-how and things like that will lead probably that Bangladesh have a chance to be in that market. Bangladesh delivered already a few ships to Germany and to Denmark.
Quite a hard market to get into, Germany.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
but
they are very quality
yeah,
conscious
but the
nation.
fact that you achieved to reach that quality and to reach those levels is an open door. It means that you are able to do so, and I'm convinced that there is a market for it. Even market in shipbuilding is very hard these days. I think Bangladesh can have this role, and the fact that you prove that you can do it is the fact that you can penetrate these markets as well.
Okay, as all of you are aware, I hope, that the European markets are being opened for our this manpower sector. Some European countries, even the yesterday's poor country like Romania, has opened their market for Bangladeshi workforce to get into. And I believe you have got something to talk about this issue.
Well, in Finland, I must say that unfortunately we are not so very open yet for outside the European Union. I mean, from the European Union, anybody can come and doesn't even need a work permit. But when it comes to the third world, so to say, they are still a little bit strict because we have also unemployment in Finland. It's about between 8 and 9%.
Unemployment.
And yeah.
Local unemployment.
And therefore the labor unions are those who are against that too many people come and take their jobs, as they say.
Mr. Peter Daae?
It's a completely different world in Norway. We have low unemployment. It's only about 3%. And we are lacking a lot of manpower. But the barrier seems to be language. So I think we are reluctant to have people that do not at least speak English. And so that could be
your people do not speak English?
No, we speak English, but I mean, the people coming from many developing countries, they do not speak English.
But they can pick up English, the local language quite quickly.
If they do so, then I think that would be, that is sort of a must. But the local community in, Bangladeshi community in Norway is very small. It's only about 750 people.
Only?
Only.
Oh,
it's very small, but it's a very stable and
it's a very negligible figure.
It certainly is, but they have...
Because Bangladesh so far has exported 10 million workforce all over the world.
But I don't think they have made it so much to, at least not to Norway. I think the community in Stockholm, where you have the embassy, there are about 8,000. And if you go to Italy, it's about 170,000. So there is a difference. To make it up to the north...
So, but you can do something, you can have a good role to play to take more Bangladeshi people to your country, Norway?
If we have some sort of structure in the language problem, I think that could be a role.
Okay, I heard that you met the Speaker of Bangladesh Parliament, Advocate Abdul Hamid, and nowadays all over the world we are talking about the good governance, democracy, the freedom of speech, the right to access to the information, all these things. And for last couple of years, the government have set up a humanitarian commission, rather human commission or something, and then the access to the information that has been ensured. And so, but the good governance has been always a talked about issue in our country. How you people are looking into? To start with, Swolf?
It's a good question because you are on the right track, I think. There are some issues that still can be performed, that is for sure, but the way it is led in these days shows us, and also the performance that you achieve in the economic activities and things, that means that there is a right move. And I think we all should support that move in the right sense of it. It's a hard way to go. We all know it, but we sincerely, if we are representing Bangladesh abroad in our countries, in our areas, that is a commitment in certain way, and that is because we believe that you can do it and that something will happen in this country in a very, very positive way.
Mr. Peter Daae, what is your feeling?
Bangladesh, normally you would, a guy in the street would say that Bangladesh is corruption, disasters and poverty, and we are trying to portray...
We certainly disagree to all those allegations, because those who do not come and visit Bangladesh, those who do not experience this beautiful country, only they talk about the natural calamity, corruption and all this. But as we go through the other index about other countries, it's not, Bangladesh is not just a unique country.
And I think it's, I agree with you so much, and I think we are proudly representing Bangladesh, trying to improve on that image, and I think we are, that is improving. And like Mr. De Wolf said, we are, it's the right track, you are on the right track, it's the right direction. And I think there is you are improving in so many ways, indicators, and so there is definitely a good move.
And Mr. Harry Blassar?
Well, I must say that it is with great pleasure that I have followed how the democracy came back to Bangladesh after the sad events that took place after the independence, when thinking about the family of Bangabandhu Mujibur Rahman.
Yeah,
and
the father of the nation.
That's right. And then you had a few dictators and so on. And then you came back to democracy. The only thing I'm a little bit critical about is I understand that when you have the governing party, they are in the government, then you have opposition, and the activities of the opposition could maybe be a little bit better here. In other words, too often they...
You are talking for both parties.
No, I'm talking for the one that is in opposition.
The major two parties we have, one go to the power, and the other remain as the opposition. So this should be applicable for both, because whenever they go on opposition and on power, the same thing.
I would say so. Okay. And what they do is that they very often take the people to the street, which I think that should be better to wait for the next elections and not trying to
some new ways to talk about their demands you are meaning? Yeah, not the hooligans way, not the destructive way, not the strike way, not the hartal way here.
That's right.
Yeah?
Exactly. Better to avoid those, and the government shows how they can manage and do well in order to maybe win the next elections again. But the opposition wants to show maybe where they are doing not the right thing, but not by going to the street.
So going to the representing Bangladesh issue abroad, you three are one of those 10-odd diplomatic personalities now visiting Bangladesh, or just at the end of your visit to Bangladesh this time. So how does it feel? Because as one of you has already mentioned, that Bangladesh was recognized as a country for corruption, killing, natural calamity and all those. So now nothing unique in Bangladesh. What do you feel? How do you feel while you represent Bangladesh in your country?
Well, I feel really very happy being here now and to see how you have developed in many ways. And for instance, the parade that you had yesterday, it was really fantastic. I was actually really moved when I saw it, because I think that the soldiers, when they were marching with the white gloves, and so they did not only think that
General Ashraf Abdullah Yusuf, the 9th division we have, he's the commanding officer, general, GOC, general officer commanding, and the parade leader for yesterday, yes.
I think that they did not only think that they are doing something now as a duty for their country, I think they really did it also as a fun.
Well trained.
I'm sure they thought it was fun. They did it so well.
What is your feeling about representing Bangladesh abroad in your country, in Norway?
I'm very proud of being a representative. It's an honor. And it certainly is. And whenever I do speak about Bangladesh, it's interesting because it's catching on. People have their ears wide open. And it's a matter of getting the message out. I mean, still that you can see that there are things to be improved here, but you take Norway 100 years back. We were the poorest country in Europe, and things do change. And so it's a matter of not focusing on the no's and the bad things, but take all the good things and focus on them and take them one step further.
Thank you. And very quickly, Mr. Peter Swolf.
It's a challenge. It's a nice challenge, and being here and being invited by Bangladesh is not only a honor; it's a challenging task, and we will do it.
But you are enjoying that challenge.
I think we enjoy that. Yes, I think you can hear from all three of us.
Now,
and
those two are very positive
Yeah,
about that,
but
but you are saying a bit challenging.
Yeah, it's challenging in a positive way. We have a lot to do.
Okay.
Challenge means that we go for it, and not only because we were 13 consuls and consul generals here in these days, and I strongly believe that everybody would say the same. We are proud of being a part
Thank you.
and of part of the family, actually.
Thank you very much for saying Mr. Patrick Swolf, Mr. Peter Daae, and Mr. Harry Blassar for being in this show with me for this Channel I.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
প্রিয় দর্শক, আমাদের তিনজন বিদেশি বন্ধু এতক্ষণ আপনাদের সঙ্গে কথা বললেন। তারা প্রত্যেকেই গর্বিত, আনন্দিত এবং একটু থ্রিলড যে বাংলাদেশকে বিশ্বব্যাপী বিশ্ববাসী যেভাবে চেনে বা আগে যেভাবে বাংলাদেশকে মানুষ চিনতে পছন্দ করত বা আগ্রহ করত, সেই বাংলাদেশকে তারা প্রতিনিধিত্ব করছেন না। তারা এমন একটি বাংলাদেশকে এই মুহূর্তে প্রতিনিধিত্ব করছেন যে বাংলাদেশটি সামনের দিকে এগিয়ে যেতে চায়, সামনের দিকে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে এবং সেই এগিয়ে যাওয়ার অভিযাত্রা অনেকটাই আগ্রহ উদ্দীপক। এই অনুষ্ঠানটি দেখার জন্য আপনাদের সবাইকে অনেক ভালোবাসা।